My name is Jen, and I am on a journey in order to break free from the destructive patterns of disordered eating and in order to embrace a nourishing lifestyle. My roadmap can be described using an acronym of the word Nourisher. So I'm doing daily video blog posts in order to encourage you, equip you, and keep you up to date on my progress. If this content is helpful or encouraging to you, please consider subscribing, hitting that like button, and sharing with others. It is my deep desire that these videos would help to ignite nourishing transformations in us all. Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining me for my Nourisher Check In on this pouring, rainy day. Today was all about listening for cues. So we have 3 beautiful, vibrant little girls, and before they were born, it was very miraculous for us to even become pregnant with those girls after years and years of infertility, and that's a different story. But when I did find out that I was pregnant with our eldest, I immediately called my sister-in-law. I love and adore and respect my sister-in-law, and she had kids, and I respected her as a mom, and I just said, whatever you did for your children, I want to do that for mine, so please teach me. And she gave me Tracy Hogg's book, The Baby Whisperer. So it was a really insightful read, and it actually was all about listening to the baby's cues. And by doing so and by respecting the baby and getting to know the baby, you get them on a routine and your family together gets into a rhythm together. Now, me in my black and whiteness, maybe even a little bit of postpartum thrown in, I didn't focus so much on the listening to baby's cues, and I focused a lot on the get the baby on a routine. And so the baby was born, and I was like freaking out. Like, the baby won't wake up, but the baby's supposed to be awake now, and then the baby's got to go to sleep, and the baby won't sleep when the baby's supposed to sleep, and the baby won't wake up when the baby's supposed to wake up. And my brother came to visit to meet the baby, and he just looked at me and just said, chill. Just throw the watch away and just enjoy the baby and just watch the baby and just get to know the baby. And it was so helpful, just re-grounded me in terms of what is this all about. And yet I find that that's how I treat myself. Like, now you're supposed to get up, and now you're supposed to go to work, and now you're supposed to do this, and you're supposed to do this, and I have all of these expectations, and yet don't often kind of actually listen to the wisdom of my body and to what's going on in my heart and mind. So this day has been all about letting things get slow and listening. So I had a really long to-do list today, and my body was up for it, got a bunch done in the morning, but I got really fatigued pretty quickly, and I had lots of big cravings. And I had to stop and do a little bit of that urge surfing that we've talked about before, which is when you know that, hey, the craving is here. Let's listen to it, think about what is it trying to communicate, knowing that it's going to be like a wave. It's going to come and then it's going to go. And while that was happening, I was able to realize, hey, wait a second. Last night I had a counseling session, thinking of opening up to others, and I'm actually emotionally pretty tired. So I was starting to notice fatigue and starting to notice that there was some unprocessed stuff that had bubbled up in the counseling session that I needed to pay some attention to. So I don't know if that answers my notice my emotions today. My emotions today were predominantly, I don't know, they were predominantly positive, but it just felt like there was kind of some underlying things that maybe I had been stuffing away and not really paying attention to. So opening up to others, I mentioned that I had a time with my counselor last night that was very productive, but one of those really stirring times. For the first time ever, which I will not do, but the first time ever, I thought, after we meet with our counselor, sometimes things feel worse. They feel like things are more entangled. So is it even worth doing this? And you know what? The truth is, for me, that they're not more entangled. He just brought the tangledness or some of the messiness or some of the pain or hurt to light, in which case, it was always there, but now it's just a little bit more in my face. So definitely want to continue to work in that therapeutic relationship, which has been so life-giving to me, but it's not easy by any means. also, in terms of opening up to others, I mentioned to you that I do have a mentor that I meet with bi-weekly, and that was a terrific time again together today, and especially of hearing stories. Stories are so powerful, such a powerful way for us to be inspired and for us to see things in real life action, even if you're not in real person with someone. And I have this little bit of a love-hate relationship. Actually, it leans more towards a hate relationship. But right now there's this trend kind of on YouTube and all over the place of what I eat in a day. And people kind of post what they eat in a day, especially all of these stars. And there's a huge backlash to that in the eating disorder community, because these people are posting these very unhealthy diets that should not be mimicked by anyone. So on one hand, I'm like, yes, let's ban that trend. Let's get off that bandwagon. Let's be really discerning when we're seeing that kind of thing. And on the other hand, I just really recognize that people are looking for models. People are looking for mentors and looking for answers of how to live life in healthy ways. So I just really am yearning for healthy role models, and I'm so thankful for the time that I was able to spend with one of my mentors today. Understanding the cycle was really interesting. I mentioned that cravings were really big today, and so I knew that, when a craving gets big, I either tend to restrict or I tend to lean into binging, so I had to be very cautious with that today. So I had eaten a breakfast, but actually it didn't have any protein with it. And if I don't have protein or a really nice satiating healthy fat, it doesn't usually stick with me and I get hungry pretty quick. So I had breakfast I got up super early this morning, but more on that when I talk about sleep. But I had breakfast really early, like 6:30ish, and then by the time it came to like 10:30, I was super, super hungry. But what I noticed was that for some reason I felt guilty about wanting to eat at that time. I don't know why. I always have a snack around that time, but I was really hungry. And I did notice the propensity or the feeling, which is big for me on the cycle, or typical for me on the cycle, to hide the fact that I was eating. So that was weird. So I did go ahead and eat something, and I was still really ravenously hungry. So I said, you know what? It's only like 10:45 in the morning, but I'm just going to count that as an appetizer, and I'm going to just eat lunch. So I went ahead and made a salad and cooked up meat and the whole 9 yards, and had a big satisfying lunch. And you know what? Since then, I've been very satisfied. So because my hunger cues are so messed up from so many years of abuse, I don't know if that was just genuine hunger or a craving or what, but I felt much better after a big glass of water and a good meal. So that's understanding the cycle. In terms of rewiring my brain, I talked about that I was listening for cues today, and when I finally clued into the fact that I was just emotionally tired, I tried to practice rest for the rest of the day. Now, as you know, my brain is a little bit of a workhorse and a little bit of an energizer bunny and always wanting to be productive, but today I tried to live out what I believe, which is that rest is critical for emotional, spiritual, and physical health. So I went for a walk, I took a really nice bath, I did lots of breathing, I enjoyed some time in appreciation and prayer, and so I think it went okay. Insulin-friendly eating, as I already touched on, that was really good, and I haven't really been very hungry since having my really big lunch, so I'll need to be careful to make sure that I do get back into eating once my hunger returns this evening around supper. Sleep last night, I finally had a good sleep, and I'm kind of wondering, it's kind of like I have a good sleep and then I don't have a good sleep for a couple of nights, and then I must just be so tired that I kind of conk out and stay out. So last night I was able to sleep soundly, but wasn't able to sleep super long. But better sound than long, for me at least. Hydration also has gone well today, and exercise was wonderful. We talked about the fact that in that one book that I mentioned in the sleep video, that they say that the best bridge between hope or despair and hope is a good night's sleep. Well, I want to add in there that, that one of the bridges is a good night's sleep and the other bridge is a beautiful walk in nature, because it was so restorative for me today, and I'm very, very grateful So, my reward today was the gift of rest. It's very difficult for me to rest. Even as I was in the bath, I was kind of thinking, okay, like, can I get out now? Like, should I scrub the bath? Like, should I clean it? And the gift of being able to embrace rest and truly enjoy that release is something that I'm tasting just a little bit now, and that I'm looking forward to developing into in the future. So, thanks so much for checking in. I sure hope that you're having a nourishing day, and I am really looking forward to checking in with you tomorrow. Bye for now.